Right, good morning. I'm going to have a rant, so hold on to your seat. I just seen this thing about some little prissy actor. I mean, I'm assuming. I mean, I'm pretty sure I know he's an actor. Timothy Chalamet, Chalamet. I don't. Shamalama Ding Dong. I don't care. And he was basically insulting ballet dancers and opera singers, and it pissed me off, grinded my gears, so now I'm having a rant. Firstly, I'm not a fan of opera either, but I grew up with it because my dad was a huge fan of opera. I grew up with people like, well, first of all, he played Phantom of the Opera all the time, but I grew up with like Jose Carrera and Placido Domingo and Mario Lanza because of my dad. People, and if you look at the musicals I grew up with, like Seven Brides for Seven Brothers, there's a lot of operatic singing in that as well. The three tenors and all that, he played them constantly. But and Mario Lanza especially, he was like his favourite. But I was never a fan. But the thing is, just because it's not my genre of music, doesn't mean that I'm not going to have opera at my school. I've written operas. Like there's opera singing in some of my stuff. There's choir music in some of the stuff that I've written. And it's like, who's so ignorant when it comes to the arts that you would belittle people who aren't in the same field as you just because what he can't do opera and he's not a ballet dancer? Like, of of all the arts forms of art out there, he's picked on probably the two with the most discipline when it comes to your talent. Like, these people break their bones to do ballet, and that's not good enough for him. I've got two movies that I'm turning into ballets. I'm going to have choreographers who specialise in ballet and, theatre and all of that. I'm going to need people that can teach opera to these kids because we're going to be doing operas and that. I'm not so rude and ignorant as if I was invited to an opera to go, oh, no, it's not really my thing. It's when you're given the opportunity to see a Da Vinci or to, I'm just, to see something as iconic as that, like a performance of Phantom of the Opera or a Shakespeare, for example, who says no? That's like refusing to feed your brain nourishment. What an arrogant, privileged, obviously, I couldn't tell you a thing he's in, I don't care. He would certainly be blacklisted coming to my school because that's exactly what I'm talking about. This is why I'm here. This is why I'm building this school. This is why I get the new Hollywood and the new Motown and that, because these arrogant little buggers with all their privilege and their red carpets and their money are turning their nose down at kids who look up to them, who want to be just like them, and they're bad examples. And I'm not having that. So basically, if there's any kids out there that do ballet and want to get into opera and classical music and that, who are looking up to that little prissy bitch, he's now just basically popped their balloons and said, I'm not interested in supporting your talent because I don't like what you're doing. Like, how dare you? Is that, that these are the role models that our kids have got? No, I don't think so, and not at my school. We'll be doing all sorts. Heavy metal. If there's kids that play thrash metal, that if they do it and they love it and they're good at it, we're going to record it. We're going to put them on stage. We're going to put their songs on our radio station. We're going to support them 100%, regardless of whether we like the stuff they're doing or not, because it's not about us. And this is my whole point with my school. If you're coming on board to be a teacher or a mentor and you have all the experience in the world, even if you've got bloody Oscars and Grammys, I don't care who you are, when you come to my gate and you want to come on board to help these children rise and perfect their talent, or even if If I have a goth emo kid coming to work in my Halloween department and they want to try their hand at opera, we're going to let them. Because who are we to tell these kids no, and we won't be telling these kids no. That's the whole point of our school, my school, to support these kids, because it's not about us. We're the adults. We're supposed to be supporting these children and giving them all the encouragement they need, because you got to remember these kids are coming from bullying backgrounds, from abusive backgrounds, from neglectful backgrounds, where they are shut up, beaten, abused, neglected, ignored, silenced, ripped off, stolen from, pushed down, kept down, medicated, because everybody else around them, like that Timmy Shamalama Ding Dong, don't understand them, but I understand them. And the people who come to work for me, whether they're a ballet teacher, an opera singer, a classical music teacher, a producer, an artist, a photographer, a baker, a seamstress, I don't care. They'll all be coming to support the children, because this is not about them. They'll get recognised in our award shows, and the kids will love and appreciate them for everything they do. But we are the universe and they are the stars, not us. And so that little princess should be ashamed of himself. He should not be allowed to show his name, because he is not an example of what a role model is, like Lady Gaga and all that. Like, what message is that sending out, with blood dripping out your mouth and horns on your head, hardly wearing nothing on stage, grinding and ugh. You're talking about opera and ballet, two of the oldest forms of entertainment there is, along with classical music, and that's not good enough for him. He's basically turning his nose down at a Turner or a Rodin and saying, no, not good enough for me. What an abuse of privilege. Seriously, he's really pissed me off. So the thumbnail is my very first Halloween party that I put on back in the day. It was a couple of years before my dad died, and you'll see the guy who's Phantom of the Opera with the hat on, that was my ex-brother-in-law. My sister Erin, you know Erin, the one that I turned into the character for the Dear Satan cause, that's her ex-husband. And next to him is my brother George. And they're both dressed as Phantom of the Opera, because that's how much opera meant to my dad. Like I said, I should have known back then that I was destined to put on Halloween festivals and theatre productions and all of that. I had no clue back then. I honestly had no clue. But yeah, that's just so offensive. If I was invited to an opera, I would not say no. I desperately want to see a Shakespeare play now that I have a new appreciation for it. That's not the sort of stuff you turn down, because this is like ancient forms of entertainment that nourish your brain. It has been proven scientifically that classical music and heavy metal and things like opera and classical music instruments nourish your brain. When that sort of stuff is played to cows, their milk is richer, plants grow faster. When they hear like Bach and Brahms and Beethoven and all that, plants grow faster. When they hear Iron Maiden, cows give better milk. But that's not good enough for him. And this is why Hollywood's getting torn down. This is why the music industry of America and all that's getting torn down, because these are the role models that our kids are looking up to. And what are they saying to these kids? No, you're not good enough for me. Because you don't copy me and you don't listen to what I say, I don't care. How rude. So I had to have my rant, because that really pissed me off, because I'm so protective of my kids. I understand the mind of a creative, empathic genius. And I am writing all sorts of kinds of music and plays that I have not left any kind of genre out. I'm not a fan of yodeling, but if there's kids that want to do yodeling, we'll let them do yodeling. We'll even record a bloody album for them. Like I'm not rude and arrogant. If you're a person of the arts and culture and entertainment, you have to have a respect for the whole thing and not just your own preferred genre. Otherwise, you don't have a respect for the arts and culture and entertainment. I'm making sure that the services and the entertainment and the products and everything that I provide at that school, movies, art, video game, food, whatever, is going to appeal to everybody. No matter what your taste is, no matter what your belief is, no matter what you're into, we're going to have something for everybody. We're not leaving anyone out. Because unlike the society that these kids are growing up in, I won't be leaving anyone out. And the people who come to work for me won't be leaving anyone out either. The people who come through my gates to enjoy the shows that we're putting on, enjoy the food, enjoy the stays and the products and the whatever, will all be coming through those gates knowing that the second they walk through them, it is all about us adults coming together to support the children. Every dime goes to the kids, goes back into the kids. Every performance is to uplift and nourish the kids, to give them confidence, to make them feel proud of themselves. And I've been thinking about it as well. Remember I was saying before, I've always been saying, we'll have kids come to stay for a couple of months at a time. That's where I thought, I need to change that policy because some of these movies are going to take 8-9 months to make, and it would be unfair for these kids to be a part of something for only a couple of months to drag them away. So what I'm going to do is they can either offer to come and stay at the boarding house, because I'm going to have a boarding house, or they'll come for 12-month periods, and then that way they'll get to complete a game. They'll get to complete a show. They'll get to complete a movie. You know what I mean? They'll be a part of something that they'll get to see the start and finish off. So, so they'll come and stay with us for a year. They'll come and stay at the dorms for a year. And then for the ones that are talented or where it's not safe for them to go back, they can go to the boarding house. They can choose come to us for a year or come to the boarding school. They can decide. They can leave any time. They're not obligated to stay. They can leave any time. But they'll have two options: stay for a year, give it a year, because they're going to be part of a family. So my policy's changed. They'll come and stay for a year, or they can sign up, to see it through for however long they want to stay. I think my boarding house will probably fill up pretty fast. Because I know from experience, there's a lot of kids out there that would give anything to get away from their families and schools and countries and situations that they're in. And we're going to be getting kids of, when we do our talent shows and that, there'll be homeless kids that will be allowed to audition. There'll be kids off the street that will be allowed to audition. There'll be kids that are coming out of juvie that will be allowed to audition. Or, like I said, if I can have an agreement with the judges in the country's court systems and that, if the judges know that these kids have got incredible talent, the judges can recommend them to come to us instead of going to juvie. They just need the right support, do you know what I mean? So, so everything's changed up, but that Shalamelon Ding Dong, whatever his name is, sorry, he lit my fire. Literally, my Faea. So my fire awards, that's what we're going to call. I was going to call them Northies or North Stars, but I think I'll call them fire awards, because our award shows will cover everything. Games, movies, books, TV. We won't have like Grammys and Emmys and Oscars and that like everybody else. It'll be fire awards, the Foundation Arts and Entertainment Awards. Foundation Arts and Entertainment Academy Awards. So I had to put that out there because he really pissed me off. So anyway, Luciano Pavarotti, that was the other one. Luciano Pavarotti, Placido Domingo, and Jose Carrera, and Mario Lanza. Mario Lanza, I can't talk, because he's pissed me off that much that I was literally sitting there eating my Vegemite on toast, and I dropped my toast to make this to have my rant. So I can't talk properly. when my gears get grinded like that, I talk fast and I trip all over my words. So anyway, there we go. I'm not having it. So I just had to put it out there. I'll speak to you later. I'm going back to my toast. Ka kite anō. Mwah.